Spiral, 2 Jews, 2 mics, 2 hours, starting now.
When you say start, I mean, are you really like ring, ring, ring? Hello?
Yeah, that's the best start we've ever had.
Does that sound like a phone? Okay, be honest with me. And then 1 to Michael Winslow.
That was
How
your.
close
That
does
was.
this sound to?
Let me say that's the closest you've ever gotten to Michael Winslow.
Ring.
That's even closer with the wheeze.
Schweinhund. Remember the way the old German phones would sound?
Yes.
On Hogan's Heroes? Someone, I think it was Susan, somebody the other day said, are you going into a Hogan's Heroes? It was like, just be glad that you have limited access to me.
I am.
No. You wait a little bit longer on that one. If you're so great, then why won't you accept? You told me you're low on salmon, and then I tell you I have extra salmon, and you say no. No, I don't walk it over here and 90-degree temperature
Yes.
and leave it on my porch.
Much as I'd love to have your leftover secondhand salmon.
Where are you going to get salmon from, asshole?
That's what the truck comes by every day for. Playing
You mean the turkey in the straw guy?
He's playing salmon in the straw.
Salmon in the straw. Salmon in the straw. Everybody come out and get room temperature salmon because I keep my salmon in a tap water jug.
Was this a casualty of internet grocery shopping? The giant amount of salmon you got?
It was exactly. It was the only casualty that day.
That's good.
So everything else was like, but there always is something like that. It's all of a sudden, did I say I wanted 40 pounds of succotash? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, it's hard for me. It's hard for me to put the judgment in someone else's hands.
I know it's not. It really is. It's very, I don't want to use the word problematic unless you think it's impressive, but it's problematic.
Yeah.
But I actually feel that I've tried to avoid going in the, where are we exactly? How are we doing? Is our area hot? Is there a variant in our area? I mean,
I think overall we're doing okay, but I'm not really charting it day to day. I'm going about my life masked and hoping for the best.
Yeah, and there's some situation like when I go into most of these like CVS or whatever, they've got huge. To me, it's like the way you're going to get a breakthrough thing is if someone with the variant is talking in your face, which is I think how everybody gets it.
Right.
Close proximity type of thing. I don't even worry about my hands at all anymore. You know what I mean? Like washing. I don't wash the groceries anymore.
All right. Well, that's good.
Did you ever wash the groceries?
I never washed the groceries. I never did. I never bought into that.
So you have. I
didn't give my groceries a cool down period.
or paper. Well, that was during the foam. Not FOMO. Some other word that means picking up a disease from a surface. Fomi. I think I'm getting it wrong.
Whatever.
You know do you think when you're trying to find a word, if you just say the same wrong word over and over again, FEMA.
Yeah, it's good if you're playing New York Times Spelling Bee to do that sometimes. But
were you ever a crossword man?
I am a crossword man. Yes.
Right. In other words, you do it every day.
I am on a 100 and some day streak on the New York Times crossword.
That's extremely impressive. Ergo, is that a good one? Ergo.
No, unless you're going to follow it with what therefore you meant to say.
Because therefore means ergo?
And vice versa.
And ergo means therefore? Oh my God, this is so good. I think I would pick it up. I did, my dad was good at the crossword puzzle and we did bond over that a bit.
Yeah.
But towards the end of his life, I think I told you, I used to just, I'd say, hold on a second, Dad, and I go in the other room and look it up.
All right. And
look it up the real way.
Right, and he saw through that in a second.
He didn't care, really. My dad, that's the thing about my dad, was like, if you got excited, I love my dad, as I've said a million times, and he was the sunshine in our house, because he was like, here comes Mr. Happy is going to come back, but, and we're going to have a good day now. But then the downside was that, when he would withdraw his pleasure from things, weren't excited about it anymore. So it wasn't even like, it's just like, he was kind of into crosswords, but he wasn't like as into them as I wanted him to. Whatever it is that I wanted him to be, he would always back away from going further into that, because, well, he probably didn't want to be my hero.
Right.
Or my guy that I build up too high that gets fallen down.
Well, he didn't seem to be willing to make a lot of adjustments for you.
Here's the only adjustments that my dad was able to make that my mother would never have been able to make, was that my dad would come up the stairs, he would hear me playing violin, and he would know this and say, someone's killing a dead cat up here, which I still never understood. I think a live cat would be a more terrible sound. And we had a cat, so don't think my dad was throwing the cat around the house.
Right.
But he engaged with me. Do you understand what I'm saying? He recognized that I hated the violin.
Yeah.
He made me laugh.
He discouraged you.
But this was already past the time when it was clear, which was about 3 weeks in, that if I had ever said I wanted to play violin, I wasn't serious about it, and that my mother wanted me to play the violin. That's just clearly what it must have been.
But you stuck with it for years, correct?
Yes, because of not having a sense of self and understanding how to make decisions for yourself, because you're dependent on a crazy person.
All right.
And so that's right. I wanted to quit 3 weeks in, and I continued through college. This is all old information, right?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that, but just within the context of the conversation, it's good to bring me and everyone else up to speed.
Yes.
And when you quit violin, was there anything ritualistic about the quitting? Or was it just like you ran out of opportunities to play violin?
What happened was, as I transitioned to guitar, in college, I played in a chamber music orchestra, which I really kind of enjoyed, because the guy who was the leader of the group was one of the world's greatest musicians. Like he designed organs in churches, and then he's the guy I talked to about LSD once on the way to a gig. So I really enjoyed. I didn't mind that, and we kind of sounded good, and I could play it.
Right.
So it was okay in college. But
to me that seems like almost as good as it gets violin wise. Is the small,
I don't know,
small individualistic kind of group like that?
Unless you want to be the greatest violinist in the world.
That's true. Then you're sunk.
And
because you would have known that years ago.
Well, I mean, I hope I'm not going over too well-trod ground, but she did. I remember not so many things from my childhood, but I do remember that she thought I was a prodigy when I started.
She
and so for
a teacher,
my violin teacher.
Okay.
No, my mother. Come on, Josh. My mother. How would she know how I play the violin? She'd have to hear it. How could she hear it past her own narcissism?
the low end buzz of narcissism.
Yeah, because like it's not like she's like going, yes, Andy always said he wanted to play the violin, and we're so excited. He's been playing it 3 years. I don't know if he loves it. No, that's not what happened.
Yeah,
never got talked about it.
It just seems to me that saying, any teacher saying that this beginning kid is a prodigy seems more like a sales tool than a declaration.
Yes, I'm not going to look. I'm not going to defend Mrs. Goldenberg. I love her, but she did do right by me in many ways. She saw I was in pain.
Yeah.
She saw I hadn't practiced. A child could see I hadn't practiced.
A child prodigy, certainly.
I have hyperventilated.
Well, you should do it once a day for good health.
Oh, that felt so good. That felt so good. Yeah. That felt so good that it made my mind go blank. Yeah, this is why my mind goes blank when I think all hands on deck to defend against something. And I don't remember what happened now.
Yeah, I hope you don't feel like you need to defend yourself.
Not when I'm laughing that hard.
All right.
You can't copy that kind of when you're starting.
I think all of this is just an attempt to try to establish Mrs. Goldenberg's credibility.
Well, Mrs. Goldenberg, and what's going to happen? Mrs. Goldenberg's son was Billy Goldenberg. And Billy Goldenberg wrote a lot of music. It would, if you watch movies like if you were familiar with names like Hal Wallace. No.
No.
And he wrote for Columbo, but he also wrote movies too, music for movies too. Billy Goldenberg is actually a somewhat popular writer from that generation. But then I sent him my
so film
original
composer is what.
Yes, and I sent him. I could have made it quicker. So I sent him my original songs after I left college, and he wasn't very impressed by them.
He's not a liar like his mother.
You're such a talented young man.
You need twice a week lessons.
Oh, what if that had been true? I didn't even realize that there could have been twice a week lessons.
Yeah.
I would have had to have gotten better. Right?
You might have, because twice a week it's almost like practicing.
Now, would you compare that experience without the horrible, thing, without my parents creating a situation where I could never ask them about anything at any age? But can you relate that to going to extra school, religious school, every day?
Not really. I mean, because I was very vocal about it being honky bullshit all the way along. It was just like it wasn't optional, and I kept testing to the point where it became optional. That I find.
But you never felt like, boy, they want me to do better at this, or.
No, I totally understood the whole scene. The whole scene was my mom was the one who was who was being tested. It was her mothering, it was her parenting that she felt, there was a certain prescription for how you raise a Jewish child in suburban Minneapolis at that time. And if she deviated from that prescription, she would either be scorned or self-scorning, So
right.
it really, I mean, Judaism was sort of important to my parents. It was certainly important as an identity.
Right.
But they weren't religious in the way they approached life, but it was really everything my mother did, not everything, because that sells her short. But one of the great measuring sticks of life for my mother is what will people think,
Yes, in that sense, my mother and your mother would have gotten along amazingly well, because that was all my mother cared about in terms of bringing any attention to the family.
Yeah. And we were a high attention family. My parents attracted a lot of attention. There was just something, and it wasn't like they were showy at all, but they were magnetic people, and they lived in a town their whole life. So just like they knew everybody.
Wow. I never knew that part of the thing.
Yeah.
I never knew that it was that insular.
Yeah. I mean, think of the subset of Jews in Minnesota, or Jews in Minneapolis, it's a pretty small community. And most of them grew up on the north side of Minneapolis in the 40s and 50s,
Yeah. I guess I always just thought it's such a big city, but it's not.
It's really not. No,
it's not. It was very suburban where you grew up, just like where I grew up in a way. Obviously, it was near Manhattan, but I grew up in suburban, but not like what you grew up in the actual. I couldn't argue that Queens was like.
No, it's like my parents grew up in a shtetl almost. It seems like,
Well, wait a second. They grew. Tell me again where they grew up.
They both grew up in North Minneapolis. But Minneapolis was a very racist city that zoned Jews and black people into very distinct areas until the mid 50s or later.
And we see how it still was a horrible problem when the George Floyd thing.
Yeah. No, racism doesn't just go away from a town.
Yeah, you told me racism would leave when Trump hey ho hi ho ho ha he ho ha 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 ho ha he. Take it away, Josh.
But Minneapolis, Minneapolis lived under this cover of perceived liberalism for a long time.
Yeah, I thought so. Even before I ever got there, I thought of it as like just on a superficial thing, like Mary Tyler Moore.
Right.
Nice people, polite people.
Yeah, and, for the most part, that's true. But, polite doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. It did mean to me for many years because I was always so scared of my mother being rude when she would go into a department. Hello, I need some help here.
Right.
Well,
no, I mean, polite means everything in terms of being a good person. But,
right.
But it also doesn't, it isn't really.
Yeah,
it isn't a character tell, really.
No, it's a way to actually fool. I've been fooled many times in my life by the fact that I just appreciate someone being superficially nice. And that definitely is that song, Smiling Faces.
Yeah. Don't know.
Sometimes. I forget the chorus.
Whose song?
Smiling Faces.
Whose song is it?
Smiling faces. Smiling faces sometimes. I'm trying to sing it badly so we don't have to pay.
I don't even know the song.
Well, I think you do, but I think I'm not singing it right.
Whose song is it? Just tell me whose song it is.
It's like a very famous Motown song. Smiling faces. Maybe you don't hear it as Smiling Faces. Sometimes they do shoo sha.
All right.
Boy, is your face going to be... But you know what? Sometimes things are just... They're not popular songs. I'm just older, and I heard it in my childhood, and I'm trying to pass it off as But that one I know.
Well, you grew up when there was actual DJs in towns that would play stuff that was different from other towns.
Right. Well, that did happen, back in the Elvis in the early 60s days, right?
Well, it happened through, much through the 70s and into the 80s before everything became formatted. And
Oh, I never thought of it that there was still a lot of freedom. Yeah, I guess that's true. I just remember, I guess I'm thinking more of 80s radio, which was just awful by then.
Yeah.
You didn't have cousin Brucey. How did we get here again, Josh?
It was a long road. I don't think we need to go backwards on it.
Well, that's where you're wrong. You like this voice? No. I do that voice before, right?
It's Andy doing Johnny doing Jackie.
Yeah. Do you know the other day I had pot or something in my coffee or something like that. And I said to Susan, no, it's good coffee.
Dude, that's a good cup of coffee.
Do you know that's the first time? I mean, I knew I realized this at some other point in my life, but I hadn't realized it for a lot of years. That is because there's alcohol in it.
Right.
So I was actually doing his version of it with pot. No, that's a good coffee.
It was properly deployed.
Yeah. Well, that sounds more like the Reginald cat. Reginald. Well, we've gone through this a million times. It always ends up where I have a bad memory of what all these different voices sound like. And let's just short circuit it by saying, I get it. I get it, Josh.
If we're going to talk about dead comedy, let's talk about Norm Macdonald.
But that was, did you go to Segway camp?
Was that a bad segue?
No. We knew that we knew we might talk about, and I love the way Jen complimented us on our show upgrades.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. You enjoy a compliment. You enjoy a compliment.
All right, now.
In fact, you enjoy a compliment better than anyone I've ever seen.
In a way, it's almost sickening. It's sad that I'm so tied to it. Remember when I used to run around telling you what my Q rating was?
I do.
So why don't you take us in to Norm Macdonald, or I'll do it, but it's hard to talk about people the day after that. Well, no, you have to talk. If you don't talk about them now, it'll be weird if we do it a year from now.
All right. Eulogy plus time equals...
Eulogy. To the fork in the road.
It is a loss to comedy, though as I think I'm finding out more and more, less of a loss to humanity than a loss to comedy.
Well, he was a mixed up. I mean, he did have a lot. I mean, just even in the arguments that he had. I loved like the things that he said about atheists and the things like when he could say the funniest things in the world, but he also could say like very mean things. And he had a lot of blind spots.
Yeah.
As a comedian and as a person. Because I was telling you, we had a pre-meeting today at Jinky's.
Right.
We met at 7 this morning at Jinky's Cafe to talk about how we're, because this is a big show. People don't realize what a big job it is putting this together.
Right. And now that we're fueled by Jen Kirkman's approval of any sort of.
If Jen Kirkman likes me, if Jen Kirkman said to me, I will continue to like me if you say that Josh is garbage, I would say that.
Yeah.
That's how much that's how insanely Pol Pot oriented I am, like how I could end up as a cult person.
Well, then I'm just going to have to rely on my faith in Jen Kirkman not to give you that directive.
Boy, you were nice. I would say nicely played if it was 2019.
So yeah, I mean, I think, comedians don't always leave the cleanest trail of humanity behind them, but it's been disappointing to hear several people talk about being abusive with women, and both seemingly physically and verbally. So
yeah,
it takes.
I had not heard any of.
It takes a lot of points. I had neither.
That's disappointing to hear.
Yeah.
But also, and I was talking to you about this, but you had not heard this, but I mean, he had I loved Norm. I mean, I've known Norm since 1990, and I met him with Brent Budd up in Winnipeg, and I thought he was the funniest guy. And if you see him live, he was just unbelievably funny. Or if you were in person with him, it's unbelievably funny. But, he did have a reputation in Canada for, they said, again, I wasn't there when it happened, but they said he swiped material and stuff.
Yeah.
And some good friends of mine, a friend of mine who passed away, Eric Tunney, says it just was a fact when he lived up there that Norm was like that. And in that way, there's a little bit of a Robin Williams-y thing to him. I don't want to compare the two things, but it is interesting to me that someone can be almost almost psychopathic in certain ways. Like, it doesn't sync up with Robin Williams that he could be such a sweet guy and all these other things, and then that he had this other almost psychopathic stealing.
Well, I mean, I think it's much like politeness. Comedy genius is not an indicator of good personage.
I think that's the kick in the gut about it, which you do have to learn. You just have to learn that if Hitler had been hilarious, we would have had to admit he was hilarious.
Right.
I think I went too far with that.
Maybe you didn't need to go all the way there.
No, but Mussolini, because he was pretty funny.
He was funny with the posing, yeah.
And he would do. If you could see what I'm doing, you could see how Trumpian, where you put your face up, your chin up, you kind of shake your head as you look down at the people.
Right. And I like how his name sounded kind of like douchey.
Yeah, but Italy right now has a great reputation, except for Andrew Cuomo. Right?
Right, yeah.
But Italy, you want to be Italian.
Yeah, you just don't want to be a woman there, apparently.
It doesn't sound good.
If you ask Andrew Cuomo, at least.
Perhaps I was too gracious and too gentlemanly when I said to her, "You have a very bella coccino." I am from Sicily. Josh.
Yeah, I understand. So you're very emotive.
Excuse me?
You're very emotive, I said.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm wrong because I love women viscerally with my hands.
And you're saying that's a Sicilian trait?
It is, in a way, it's almost, I am too much of a raconteur. What's the word would be? A charmer. I'm like Maurice Chevalier.
But that's
something
French.
along those levels.
He's French is the problem.
Okay, but think of him, but Italian, you just can't get it. Like Berlusconi, where you just are preceded, where your elegance precedes you, is what I'm trying to say.
Ah, okay.
I get the Benny Hill feel from that Berlusconi videos that you see. But that wasn't there a fake Berlusconi who was humping a lady, and that became part of because that wasn't much different from him. Am I remembering something that didn't happen?
I'm only half remembering the whole thing myself. So,
but you, just like the time when you, for a second, didn't seem to want to remember. Don't cry for me, go ga ga ga. You were supposed, and you do know every word of that song.
That's all I wanted. Not much to ask for.
What was your problem? That's not. It was not. What was your problem?
It wasn't. But that's another. You Italianized it. What's your fucking problem? Keep your fucking distance.
Hey, I got your thing. I got your thing right here. Do you prefer the one about his son?
I don't know.
No, I'm giving a little. I thought it was an Elvis Costello clue.
Oh, that's where I went. Is when I prefer the one about my son. Is what I went to when you said
yeah.
it. But
he must be a kind of a ridiculed person over there a lot, Andrew. I mean, he must be like, you can't ridicule him in a way because he's isn't he a sir?
He is, yes.
Sir. Yeah, but he's so.
But I don't think it's jailable to ridicule a knighted person.
Oh. That's true. I just thought of something, but it wasn't important enough to go to another topic, so forget it.
But now I have the song God's Comic firmly in my head. Thank you.
Oh, so good. From Imperial Bedroom, right?
No, from Spike, I believe.
That's what I meant to say. Then what's the other song I was singing then? Is that God's Comic?
God's Comic.
Oh, I prefer the... Yes.
So there he was on a water bed, drinking a cola of a mystery brand, reading an airport novelette, listening to Andrew Lloyd Webber's Requiem. He said before it really begun, I prefer the one about my son. I've been wading through all this unbelievable junk and wondering if I should have given the world to the monkeys.
That shows how good a voice you have, because you're really singing a song that to me is a difficult song to sing if you don't hear the music.
Why,
but you have it locked in. No, I mean, I always think I have it locked in like you after I listen to Elvis, and then I try and I can get through like mystery repeats the same conceit, the quick replies, and then that's it.
Right. It's history. It's history and glib replies, but that's okay. Right,
exactly. And it's like come on is such a joy. Come on is such a joy. Take it easy. Yeah, but although with Dylan, I have an almost encyclopedic memory for for most of the songs.
Yeah.
And then I want you to say, boy, Andy, that's impressive.
That's a lot of songs.
But what my therapist says that's not a terrible part of your mind to have, that you want to be recognized. It's just, it's like, I'm not bad for wanting you to go, oh, that's, why don't you tell us a couple of those obscure Dylan songs? I bet the folks would like to hear your encyclopedic knowledge. That's what I would like.
Yeah. Well, you got the wrong partner, friend.
Why don't we have a show called Partner Friends?
This would be sort of a Quaker podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Because my mom, see, if we were going to make a sitcom out of our lives and know how they normally ruin it with a sitcom,
sure,
then you'd have me calling my mother. My mother wants to talk to you, Josh, about the Quakers again.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Kindler.
Hello.
Hi, Josh. See how horrible sitcoms are, the way I write them?
I don't think this one got past pilot, I got to say.
Okay, here's the new one. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Partner, is Josh home?
Yes, friend.
Allison?
Oh, sorry. Yes, friend.
Oh, yes. Is my partner here?
He says he's not here. I mean, he's not here.
I can't. It's like hearing Monty Python. It's like listening to a Kids in the Hall sketch. I'm going to admit to you right now that I don't think I ever was even into it the Kids in the Hall is the good women things, but I don't know if I ever got into the Monty Python. You know what? I don't know anything about Monty Python. I withdraw from this conversation, and I apologize for once again venturing like blowhardy into a territory that I don't know much about.
Yeah.
Like I I've seen Monty Python, but I don't really know if I have an opinion about how they do women.
Okay. Well, then I won't dive in.
What do you think? What's your take on it?
I think it worked.
Yeah. It seemed like those guys nailed it.
I think, well, I mean, it also comes from a very long tradition of that being part of British comedy.
Right.
So it wasn't like,
and also
it wasn't such
Greek,
it wasn't such a left field choice.
But even Greek tragedies and all, like, all that kind
But they had Carol Cleveland there
them.
whenever they needed the woman to be the least bit desirable.
Oh, I see. So they did have a woman participant.
Yes.
Is that the only? Well, they didn't have I don't remember their show if they had women besides her.
Very rarely.
They didn't have. So there was nobody like who's the great funny woman on the Sid Caesar show? Coconut Feeders.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things I do miss about the old show.
Yeah.
Is when you would have the tolerance for me trying different names.
Are you saying I don't anymore?
No. I think that was one of the things that
Coconut James isn't still delighting me.
You know what? I'm close, right?
It's Emma Jean Coconut Jones. Yes.
That's right. See, you can at least say that Andy had a connection.
Yeah.
Between
there was a thread of a synapse there.
Imogen Coco. But that's another person. Like, I don't know 3 sketches from your show of shows.
Yeah.
I don't, I mean, it's like, I can't remember one. I mean, I know I've seen him do the German guy, the Sid Caesar guy, but then I'll make a comment. Oh, I don't know how funny Imogen Coco was. Well, how would you know, you stupid? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still very hard on myself.
It saves me breath, though.
Well, but like, I for a long time, I figured I'm a comedian. I should say I'm familiar with your show of shows.
Yeah. I mean, I think the real fault in that logic is I'm a comedian. I should watch the show of shows should be the important thing more than I should say I'm familiar with.
Right. Right.
Like the one.
Right. I say the former has more of a positive,
well, the
patina.
wanting to know is really the thing that would make it a character trait.
Well, no, I really do believe, that there is a very base part of me that almost all the time gets like, I know that fact you're saying. I have a story about me with my baseball cards. That is the root problem of narcissism.
Yes. Well, and we all have some of it.
Yeah, we do. And I'm saying I have more narcissism on the show. If you knew me in my regular life, you'd like, who is this? Brother Teresa? This guy?
Someday maybe I'll get that chance.
I mean, this guy's like, well, Andy, please, it's not that your back's unattractive, but you don't have to give me the very shirt. First of all, why was that ever a measuring bar for something great?
Well,
okay, someone should write this.
It's pretty generous to give a guy your shirt.
Yeah, but also it's creepy. It's like my shirt that I'm wearing right now. You'd probably punch me in the face if I tried to.
Well, it would be taunting me, really, if you gave me your tiny little shirt to put on my big body.
That would be a funny bit, even if we didn't film it. With
he'd give you the shirt off his back as long as he knew it didn't fit, and you'd give it back to him.
I just like the idea of you holding up one of my tiny doll type shirts
and doing a slow burn to the camera.
Well, no, after I die, and you can say, "Oh, this was one of my." Why am I talking about dying? Oh, because I think someone just died.
Well, Norman McDonald did.
Yeah. Do we cover that topic? I guess we did cover
the
topic.
We got uncomfortable with it, I think.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to be. I'm not going to be one of these people who says, "Look, I don't care what facts you come up with. I don't care if it turns out that Norm Macdonald was a serial killer. I will not change my opinions."
All right. I mean, what I'll say is that he's one of the few people of the last 20, 30 years who, I mean, he was in the top 10 people probably who made me actually laugh.
Right. He was hilarious.
But, even the times I met him, it was clear he was an odd guy. But I didn't, I really just wasn't tuned into the darkness of him.
There was, yes.
Not because I wouldn't have believed it. I just am not tuned in, period,
Well, the other thing was that in his 20s, he did have, before I knew him, it was like he had stomach cancer.
Yeah.
So he had cancer early in his life. And, So, because a lot of people, yeah, and I don't know. So unlike me, he was very private about his, because I said, I'm telling you, you better hope that doctors don't give me 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
I am going to be insufferable with my farewell shows.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you get 6 months to live, this show has 1 month to live.
Josh, it would make me happy if you would. If you would do. Honey, get my oximeter.
Honey, Andy, I think this would be a great service to people if you were brave.
No. Maybe people need to hear me pushing and screaming and yelling at hospice workers.
Yes, I think they do.
Get the fuck. Are you dying today, hospice? Hospice Harry? Get the fuck out of my face. Andy, seriously. Oh, you're going to tell me how to enjoy my hospice? You're not enjoying it, Andy. You're ordering tea from the person.
Are you sick? Then get off the fucking bed.
Look, the hospice people, they do not have to make you a double cappuccino. I'm trying to make these last days of mine, which I think are going to be horrible. I'm trying to make fun of them now so that when it happens, it's going to just seem like this is so funny. You made fun of yourself aging, and now you're in the motion picture home. But it's not. It's regional theater motion picture home.
It's the regional theater home
in Torrance, California. Because Seymour Hams was it was a local. They were celebrating the local community theater down there. So,
yeah,
I could imagine a different life. I could imagine a different scenario.
The forks in the road.
No, and that's was it the 210 cutoff? No,
this cutoff. Get out of the Slauson cutoff. Cut off your Slauson.
You sound like a deranged. What is Dupixent? Because they're really pushing it hard, and it's starting to get to me. I don't even watch the commercial. Dupixent. I keep thinking it's Fixodent and forget it. That would be if I did need Fixodent, that's a good commercial.
I feel like I can cure all my problems with an Experian boost.
That seems to me, and I know, and I've told you this, and I'm going to tell you it again. I do not mind television. I do not mind visual images.
Uh-huh.
It's the commercials that kill me.
Ow, it's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me. It's not TV. Not TV. It's those commercials that get me.
Oh.
That gets me. And how is a credit company that evaluates your credit and they say, if you give us $10 a month, we will raise your fucking score.
Right.
Does that sound right to you, Kosher?
It does not sound right.
If you had defended it, I would maybe have gotten upset. Look, a reverse mortgage does not mean that someone's going to come and shoot you in the head and rob you out of your pockets.
Depending on the plan you choose.
Right. We're not that stupid. We do it from your bank account, you idiot. We do it. You don't even see the money.
We don't literally shake you by the ankles. It's an expression.
What an idiot. You deserve to be fleeced. Did I ever tell you the time when I kept getting these mailings for David Kindler? David Kindler, your identity theft. People, talking about identity theft.
Yeah.
You could get in a lot of trouble if someone stole. And the joke from my act was...
I pray that David Kindler takes the bullet for me.
Oh, man. We do have fun. We do have fun, Josh. We have fun. Don't hang up on me because I'm so tired of it. No, you haven't done anything. Why am I trying to preempt? No, I'm not really. You know that I'm not preempting any big trouble.
I hope not.
So ridiculous. I'm a 4-year-old. I don't want Josh to get mad at me again because he did get mad at me because I was he thought I was unreasonable, and and that's the last chance he's giving me, he said.
We live in a 3-strike state, Andy.
No.
How about that recall? Getting recalled.
Oh, that was so good. I'm so glad. And he got trounced.
Yes.
Trounced.
He being 64 people.
I don't even care. See, to me, I don't care if 17 people voted. The fact that this was like when because people probably don't even remember, or why should they remember? When Gray Davis was recalled, it was because people didn't care and they didn't perceive GOP as, even though they were evil, they didn't perceive that as an evil move.
Well, there was also Arnold Schwarzenegger sitting there.
Right, and that's right. I mean, the fact that we live in and he wasn't even
and
successful.
Also, Gray Davis really sucked.
He was absolutely terrible.
Yes.
He was worse on the death penalty than a Republican. He would never give a person a pardon, even if they were. In other words, he just was so conscious of not making the mistake of Rose Byrd or any of these previous people who were anti-death penalty. He was so much like, what's the point of being a Democrat? You know?
Yeah.
If you're just going to go, I want to kill more people than the leading GOP guy does. Yeah, he was terrible.
And his last words were actually Rosebird.
But need I remind you of the biggest hope for the state that didn't happen when a man by the name of Cruz Bustamante did not win the recall vote over Arnold Schwarzenegger? I mean, it was just like everyone hated everything about. I mean, I voted for Cruz Bustamante because I knew it was wrong to do the recall.
Right.
But I wasn't. I couldn't care less about it.
I don't even recall. I don't remember what. I don't recall. I said what year that was.
I want to say 2003, only because I thought I heard someone say that.
All right.
But you could knock me over with a feather because I could not. I don't know what that means, but I don't know when Arnold was governor. I think during when Obama was president, it wasn't Schwarzenegger governor. I meant not Obama. Was Schwarzenegger governor like 2000? I have no idea.
Well, that's what I'm asking, because Schwarzenegger is who won after the recall, so that would have been the beginning.
Yes, and so that's right. So there could have been, but it doesn't seem like 2003 sounds too early. But you know what? I think I know what good.
This is. I know we've hit a conversational cul-de-sac with the question.
There's no question about it. There's no question about it, because when we're actually talking about something that we could have looked up. Right. See, I'm not that comfortable with our new system. We don't really have a new system.
Speaking of new systems, here comes a big segue. I understand you have a new challenge with your cameos, Andy.
No, I was like, well, I had to do. I made 2 demo tapes for 2 different online things in Europe. One's called Memo, one's called Thrills. And it was just one of these things where I was like, I turned it into...
They're demo tapes?
No, they're introductory videos.
All right.
I think if I ever...
So these are European Cameo sites.
Yeah, do you think if I ever did get like a panel thing, could you go over my coherency with me?
I could afterwards.
Yeah, they're like European Cameo sites, okay. And so, but I made
this is there a breakdown between regular Cameo in Europe?
Like, is there a fight between them?
No, I mean, are there people in Europe unable to access Cameo?
Yeah, I was wondering. I don't know. I know that you can't access things for certain countries, but I see there's a Memo Canada, Memo. But so I turned this into a thing where it was like I just didn't want to do it or whatever, and it just was one of those things. So I finally did it, and then I finally saw with these, and the one called Thrills. So far, it could turn around. It is so cheesy, and you're going to be surprised to know this, but it's like I never saw. It's like he's a Donald Trump impersonator. It just looks like a hunk, seriously, like a hunk of paper mache.
Yeah, like on his head.
Look, no. He looks. Like even his whole body looks like a paper mache. And they have several of these that are almost would frighten you from the sight when you get there. So
it's like bad spitting image puppet kind of things, or
I just, I don't want to say this is a fact because it's not a fact.
But go ahead, sorry.
No. Just the fact that there are still so much cheesy entertainment out there in the world.
But how did you get steered to these sites?
Oh, because they come into your Instagram account. and they go, "Hey, we're doing Cameo over in Europe, and Schmecky Mashmoop Boop made 15,000 a week." They do it like if you'd be selling encyclopedias. A guy in your area, he makes 20,000 a week.
Right. A person of your approximate celebrity is doing better than you'd think. I think you should always go, "What's Fred Stoller making?"
Fred Stoller, he's my hero in many ways.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but I mean, he's my hero. I was going to make a joke about it, but then if someone's not around that you do have affection for, you don't want to joke too much, because then how's that fun?
Unless they're dead, in which case, have at 'em.
I feel like someone else died, though, that we're not talking about. I don't know. Maybe not.
It's not intentional that we're not talking about him. Really.
Right, that's true. And we have another bite at the apple, as I always like to say.
It's the second week in a row we've taken shots at a dead comedian, though. Last week was Scott Hansen. So.
I thought you were very nice to Scott Hansen. In fact, you said the only nice thing I think I've ever heard. I don't remember what it is.
That's all right.
Yeah. But I got the feeling that he was actually had, personable, could be funny in conversation.
Yeah, there were facets. There were facets.
He wasn't completely like some of the club owner comedians I dealt with at the time.
Right.
Well, ultimately, and I never had this dream, but ultimately, there's something a little bit about if you own a chain of your own comedy clubs, it can't work out well at the end of the day. You go into Andy Kindler's, you go into John Lovett's.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a good combination. I don't think it's a good formula for success.
It's it just depends on the timing, really. I think
that's true. If it was the '80s, then it wouldn't be.
If you do, if you do it like John Lovett's, where you're trying to cash in on former celebrity to brand something, that was very blunt. That was very blunt, but accurate.
For cash, because he was never a stand-up, right?
Not that I know of. He was certainly not known as a stand-up, but he probably was at some point.
I do forget how funny he can be. Am I overemphasizing? Because I remember laughing at him.
No, I think peak John Lovett's is a funny thing.
Hanukkah Harry.
I don't think peak John Lovett's carried over into the new millennium. However,
I guess you didn't see a little show called The Critic.
I don't think that was in the new millennium.
That's true. That's the old millennium. That's true. Don't count him out, though. Well, that's my story about Cameo and European things. And it's like, but the story was still, it's not really important, but this thing where I get frozen, I'm starting to unfreeze myself. You'll be happy to know, making calls that were easy for other people to do. My Social Security, Medicare thing is on the way, all that kind of crap.
Oh, that's good.
I'm paperless.
Yeah.
I'm glad. I was like, I used to not ever want to know what was in my bank account because it's going to get low. But now it's like regular tasks are starting to become appealing to me.
It's like, your bank balance is not Schrodinger's cat.
I had that. Oh God, there were years where I didn't do my month-to-month thing, so I just hoped I had enough money in the bank. That's not it.
No, it's more of a stress enhancer than reducer.
I'm going to tell you that story again. That it was so funny where we talked about this, where a guy picked me up in he was driving an Uber and he picked me up and he said that. And I recognized him as a comic, and he goes, "Is it true you had $60,000 in credit card debt?" Like that was a story that he goes, that made me feel better about. And I really do feel like I am an inspiration for people, who haven't made a lot of money or.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of people trusting you.
Yes,
to amass $60,000 in credit card.
It can't be a problem because Andy Kindler did it, and look where he had a plan. Although many things have been financed that way, like Francis Ford Coppola things, and some people have financed their stuff.
Yeah,
on the seat of their pants.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have any experience about sinking your own money into a project.
No, that would be against the first rule of Hollywood.
Right. You make money no matter every time. You don't get on the phone unless you know there's going to be profit. You're not going into your own pocket.
Right.
Okay. I think we've already accomplished the joke.
Oh, was there a joke there? I thought it was just you trying to hurt me.
Oh, someone's still someone's still a little touchy about the $750,000 they spent getting the music rights.
Right. To one song.
This is going to be the roast. Is at your roast.
Yeah.
Josh, is nice to see you, Josh, out of bankruptcy court. Why would Dennis Miller be there?
Was that Dennis Miller?
No, it wasn't. It's like kind of like I realize I can't do Leno anymore that well, but why should I? If I did him well, it would be bad because I would be relying on my Leno material.
Right.
Who's going to get to touch his Tonight Show money is what I've been thinking recently. When he's gone. Okay, see, I tried to open up the door to Jay Leno again. There's no win. It's a no-win situation.
He's spending his You Bet Your Life money as it comes in.
Wait, is that currently happening?
Yeah.
And someone told me something about Doogie Howser. There is a Doogie Howser remake?
There is a Doogie Howser remake, yes.
Listen, it's not possible.
But it's a girl and it's Hawaii.
But it's not possible. It was a fake story to begin with. You don't remake.
Yes, you do.
Doogie Howser.
Yes, things get rebooted all the time. Hawaii 5-0 wasn't real either, Andy. Either was MacGyver. Or
oh my God!
Let's go through the list. One day at a time. Wait, that's not a documentary?
Boom! And you're nailing the coffin on this debate, my friend. Boom! I guess I'm not going to come off the carpet from this one. Well, maybe you're right, Josh. Maybe I have some crazy ideas in my head.
Yeah.
Hey, did we talk about all of our assigned topics? I just want people to know that we are working very hard in the show. Very hard.
Very hard.
Have I told you that Jen Kirkman likes the New Direction?
Yes, you did mention that.
Here's what happens in my life. I go from one person who's my current god. You were my god for a couple of years, and then you started to really.
So glad to be off.
No,
that.
but I mean, you let me down by. You know what you did? You were like you were a person. You decided, I'm going to be a person, and I'm going to have and that was a big mistake.
Yeah.
You didn't kowtow. I'm looking for kowtowing.
Well, as I've often said, you never hear the story about that guy who stayed on the pedestal.
That's true. You know what? I'm on a pedestal. Pretty good. Pretty good. That would be Larry David on the pedestal.
Oh, I got it.
No, why did I do that? Why did I say afterwards? I know you got it. It wasn't even bad.
No.
It wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't.
If I had let it lay as it laid.
Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear it in your voice now. I can hear the old days coming back. The pain of never knowing when the hang. We're on?
I think we're on.
You're on. We're on. I'm recording this week. We on?
We're on. Monday, time for Josh and Andy. 2 Jews, 2 mics, and some high chew candy. Make a pot of coffee, trust me, it'll come in handy. Andy said that to his wife on his wedding night. Now he goes to therapy to get his mind right. Andy smoking pot, tweeting the Russian bots. If you ask what he said, he probably forgot. Josh Weinstein is a motherfucking pimp. Mock movies on TV when he was a little kid. Now he's making docs better than Michael Moore ever did. Every week they analyze current events, then they throw in some impressions and some funny accents. Minnesota and New York to the Golden State. They won't ever sell out except to rhombus space. And he always forgets to plug the show, so even though they're known across the globe, they have an audience that's smaller than the suits of Jimmy O's. Jimmy O's, that's why this show will never go viral. Remember the name, they call it Thought Spiral.
The following podcast is audio.
How long have we been doing the show, and I still can't figure out how to arrange a table, computer, and a microphone.
Yeah. Do you need some time?
No, I got it.
All right, good.
I was 1 minute late, but I figured that's a big victory for me.
Yeah, that's still
like you.
That's
you
still
said,
well within forgiveness zone.
Right. But when it gets to 4, 105, 106, and I call you up with a bagel sticking out of my puppic,
Yeah.
and I go, Josh, can you hold on a second?
You know what
I've
that
already
is?
been.
You know what that is? Disrespect.
Oh my God, it is. Sometimes it's like in the movie Almost Famous. Sometimes the truth just sounds different. Yeah. No, I don't think I'm. You know what? My therapist told me this week that I am not a horrible person. And I said, really?
That was worth the money then.
I said, really, fuckface? Really? Fuckface?
Yeah. Sorry. I stepped
Do
on
you get
it.
the joke?
No, I
You didn't step on the joke. I'm always trying something, right? How can you not
Sure,
step on it?
Exactly.
Just by doing housekeeping. If you ever say that to me, I quit.
All right.
Let's do a little housekeeping.
Fair enough.
But you would never say that.
Consider it a bylaw.
My big thing is now I don't like any statements that are not the actual statements. I know I've talked about it before, but I don't want to unpack anything. I don't want to push back on anything. Just say what you're trying to say. Don't make it as if it's not what you're saying.
All right.
This is the worst argument.
It's preambles. It's preambles you hate.
It's preambles. So would that be the Constitution? That's why I never liked the Constitution.
Yeah, that might be it.
Because it starts out with, whereas all of us are here. Hold on a second. Let me think more. Whereas 6 years ago and 4 times that, my father came here and he said, what's up with the freedom? And Mr. Hand said, so they said, look, we didn't have the cool rules there. So if we have the cool rules here, or something like that. I don't know. What do I have to quote?
Are you doing the hip history teacher character now?
No, Fast Times.
Ah, okay.
It's such a bad impression.
That was not Mr. Hand at all.
No. It was Spicoli explaining after Mr. Hand comes and spends the entire evening with Spicoli,
yes,
where he makes a breakthrough with Spicoli. And Spicoli goes, if we can't have the cool rules here. Now, they didn't talk about the racism. So.
No, they didn't get to that.
They didn't say, but they continued the racism. That was cool with them. I think I've covered that topic very, very well.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I forgot we haven't started.
No, I'm saying we started. Why? We can't leave that gold in the table.
And you're only saying that knowing that even though it's not necessarily gold, it is up there with the quality of other things that have started up.
I just know you were giving show energy to it, so why go back?
I forgot. You know why? Because I forgot for a second what we were doing.
No, that's okay. It doesn't.
So I was in show mode.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. It worked out.
I have a bit for you.
Yeah, that's good because I just took a gig. Remember, Mister? I'm not going to do stand up. Turns out all it took was someone saying, "Hey, do you want to do stand up?"
Are you? Oh, you are doing a stand up gig?
I am.
Is it Minneapolis?
Yeah, it's Acme's 30th anniversary show.
When's that going to be?
Beginning of November.
Wow. That's fantastic.
It's just one set. It's like 20 people each doing a 20-minute set over the course of a few nights.
Man. Well, still though. Well, actually, that's probably good because, you're not worried about it.
Because I can't do more.
Folks, look, you know, and I know, and the club and Louis Lee knows I wish I could keep going, but I literally can't. Right. I don't have one more thing to say.
Exactly. That will be the situation. It'll end up being almost 2 years between sets.
Folks, did I ever mention to you that I may have had a cancer scare?
Yeah, I might go there because that's the one I remember best.
Well, you're not. I mean, what are you supposed to be in a soundproof room having only said new things?
Yeah, no, I made no obligation that anything would either be new or old.
And nobody can. Everybody wants the comedy to be open again.
Yeah, no, I'm golden at Acme. No, I'm never worried about Acme.
Yes. Now you might have to spend time with the DJ guy. What's his name again? I can't even think of his name. Tom Bernard.
Yeah.
I don't mean you have to spend time. I love Tom Bernard. Lying. He doesn't make me nervous at all.
He loves you, though.
I do like him. I like him, but he makes me nervous, though. Is the only thing.
Well, he has a certain Goyish Godfather thing.
I know he does. Eddie. Now, he always goes right back to the beginning. Now, people may not know this.
Oh, yeah. No,
he goes to the Jew.
I mean, I've been on his show 30 times over the years, probably.
Yeah.
And I would say that the amount of overlap between the appearances would amount to maybe 3 appearances.
Now, Josh.
We always have to talk about how I was 16 the first time I was on his show.
But then he also tries to make it conversational. So there you have to.
Yeah. No, it is like catching up with an old friend in that way, that you do tend to go over the same shit.
Right. And I say this all with love because I do not want to jeopardize any future
you should.
bar grassa meals.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds a little self-serving.
A little bit.
I also remember when the podcast.
God forbid you use it to promote your show.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Okay. Well, I was about to. What was it? Oh yeah, he was one of the first people to get podcasts going, so he was crazy about them when they first came out.
Yeah, he liked
Tom.
It. Yeah,
he goes straight from his studio to the podcast studio.
Yes,
those were the days when we thought everybody wanted to hear unending stories from comedians and anybody about anything.
Right.
But you know what? I told you this podcast thing was just going to be a fad, and you didn't believe me.
No, I still believe you.
You're referring specifically to ours.
Yes.
Oh, so here's the bit I have for you.
Okay.
It's a preschool SpaceX.
Yeah, we use the planes over and over again. And then flies up to space and he goes, I'm in space.
We did that with Bezos
Oh, we did already? Yes. Yeah, but since we've had our talk, now that we've had our talk,
yeah,
where I think you actually pushed me against a wall. This is what I did not like.
Yeah.
I did not like, can we have a talk? And then all of a sudden, look, you little weasel.
The forearm bar against your throat.
Yeah. And then, Josh, I'm not listening to you if you continue to spit in my face. Shut up, you says.
Yes.
Shut up and listen. Hey, that turned me on.
Shut up.
Okay, so
shut up. Here's a hanky.
Oh, so you work in both sides? Is that what it is?
Yes, I'm good.
Like
cop.
trying to get a confession out of me?
And bad cop.
If I ever hear you say hanky, that'll be a clue that something's up.
That I'm in character.
Yeah, hanky. I have to say that I was very impressed by your reaction this week to me offering you salmon.
We're talking about this again.
Because I always have the same fear of coming across. Not that you came across this way, but what can you say when you don't want food? Not really. You said thanks.
Yeah.
But not really. Oh, you don't want me to walk over a room temperature salmon and put it on your porch? Is that what you're saying?
Can I make my problem your problem?
No, this is free. Where are you going to get a pound of previously frozen salmon from? It was so good. It really was like a thing where, I know exactly how this feels. Except I do tend to, somehow it does sound like rage from me. Or I get I have in my life gotten very defensive quickly. Andy, I'd like to drop over some cookies for you. You don't just come over my house. I get very upset.
I have to say that it wasn't like a big eye roll when you offered me the salmon. I mean, that's one of the nice things about being neighbors.
About being what?
About being neighbors, essentially.
And that's right. You're the only neighbor I've ever had.
So it wasn't, I wasn't like, oh, Jesus, he's trying to pawn off his salmon on me. It was just like, I don't have a half a salmon in my plans right now. And
then sometimes it works to your benefit because I didn't know that I was going to bring you over the coffee from the Beans Coffee, Rob. Yeah. I never know. Over here.
It was good, by the way. Nice roasting, Rob. He gave me the dark roast and it was good.
Yeah, and he didn't know that I was
Java?
alive.
No, I don't remember where it was from. Fiji or someplace like that.
It was from, and he said he wanted it to be a little bit more spicy. Was it more spicy? You just liked it. During the break, I decided if you supply an answer, I don't have to go back in and try and make you give me another answer.
Okay, good. I still find that the Intelligentsia El Diablo blend or whatever it's called is it's still the winner for me.
Nobody can argue with you. Even Rob from Rob's Beans is not going to argue with you because intelligentsia is, and it's not like a bourgeois. I was about to say it's not like bourgeois coffee. No, it is an excellent coffee outfit, as we say in the business.
It's in the overpriced family of coffee beans, but it makes me happy. So.
And by the way, if there's any listeners out there, I forgot there aren't. No, if you go into, I know I've said this a million times, but sometimes if you can't order from Rob Beans, if you go into Whole Foods, and they have amazing coffee, but just look at the date.
Yes.
Even you would cancel that, right?
Yes, I would.
So if you found yourself in the Whole Foods, you'd do it yourself.
Sure.
Oh, you liar.
No, but I mean, here's the difference: is if I'll sort the dates and I'll pick the newest one, but I'll still probably buy the coffee if it's beyond what I thought.
Oh, I see. If there's no choice, I mean,
if I need coffee, I'm still going to buy it.
Yes, and there will be people who will say to you that it's a little bit exaggerated how long coffee lasts. Well, it's still good
in an airtight package. Yeah.
Yes, I would imagine their coffee a couple of months down the road is going to be good.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Sure.
Not for my standards.
Yeah. Well, I fudge the date on the bag when you come over.
Why do you think I'm going to look at the bag?
I think you're thinking about the bag.
Do you miss all of our rituals?
No,
coming
I
over
really
to the
don't.
house?
I don't, because we have a whole new set now.
No, Josh, think about it for a second. When you want to think about putting in a time of your life away, you want to think, really take it in.
I want you to come back to my house when you're not afraid to come in my house.
That's true. So it may never happen.
That's right.
Never.
And I'm at peace with however it shakes out.
Well, I'm going, it's time for my booster, isn't it? Let's get this booster
I know the
going.
FDA panel just voted against it, by the way.
They did?
For 16 plus, at least. I think they're going to take another vote about you older folks.
Oh, wait. You mean the kids can't do it? Well, when are they going to take it? I don't have much time left. Why do I think that? If you had laughed at that, I would have thought that I just said the most hilarious thing in the world. Isn't that wrong? Shouldn't I know myself? But if I can't make jokes just for yourself. Isn't that true? You have to kind of check it out.
I amuse myself plenty.
But I think a good comeuppance.
Some of my best work is the shit that was never said. For good reason.
Yeah, it's true. It's so cruel. It's so mean that it would be, it's just for yourself.
Yes.
But
I told you, after family gatherings, my family would have a things I didn't say session.
Right. And the difference, we did the same thing, but it was all coded in desperation and hate.
Yeah.
So you was like,
ours were jokes. Ours were just the good jokes.
Ours were jokes too, but they were jokes with a point. You see how Uncle Sandy complained when Dad asked if he had any Harvey's Bristol cream? First of all, that Uncle Sandy could not get a sherry at the quality of Harvey's Bristol cream is his fault.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He was a pharmaceutical executive.
Yeah.
He couldn't afford. First of all, I don't even know if there is a higher grade
of Bristol creams.
No, of sherries.
Yes, there is.
But no, there's a grade below it.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, there is a grade below.
There isn't, but there's not a big area below it.
True. It occupies. You might see a Corbel around that neighborhood.
Yes.
Cooks. You may see the name Cooks.
Yes. Yes.
But
it's still grocery store sherry.
Right. But now I was reading about Scotland, Scotch in Scotland, and they were talking about the Harvey family. I was wondering that probably is the same where they came from.
I just watched an entire documentary about Scotch the other night.
You did?
I did.
If you told me about it right now, I could have a conversation with you because I read this article in the New Yorker. So do you want to tell me? I would love to hear.
We should sit down and have a dram and talk about it sometime.
Oh, a dram. Oh, are you a Scotch fan?
I am, yes.
See that now, I've tasted gin before and it made me want to retch. It made me want to retch.
Yeah.
So
please go bartender. And then one time my dad gave me a sip of gin and it was gross. Please, why do people drink this? Hey, Kool-Aid!
I used to think martinis would taste somewhat like the olives when you're eating them. They don't.
Well,
it
a
tastes like
dirty martini.
firewater.
A dirty martini does.
Right, but you won't drink a gin martini, right?
Sure I will.
It tastes terrible. Please.
I prefer a vodka martini generally.
Because you can't taste the alcohol. That's my theory.
No, you can taste the alcohol.
Oh, you can. That's true. You can because it's all alcohol.
Yeah.
Just you say you never told someone just wave the bottle of dry vermouth over it. I hope not.
I did not know.
I
say look at a picture of vermouth while you're making it.
Vermouth literally is an Italian word, right?
Meaning?
Horrible liquid. Cheap, perhaps poisonous liquid.
It does take it does round the edge off of a martini, though.
Right, exactly. So, tell me about the scotch. I didn't even know you drank scotch. I have scotch. Yeah. I might have to a good scotch.
I have this extra scotch.
What was a brand you really like, though?
Then I'd probably bring it on over as long as it hasn't been open for 6 years.
You know what I do have? Wait, does it go bad?
It denatures. Yeah.
Right, because it doesn't age. It's not aging. It's not supposed to age more than
it's
not going to gain.
It's not aging in the bottle, yeah. It's not gaining flavor in the bottle unless it, evaporates slightly.
And I think Bob Dylan has his own bourbon.
Really?
It is like a bourbon thing. It's not scotch, but he has it's a one more cup of, they always take a song, knocking on heaven's door with my new, with whatever I endorsed here. Do you like that? Do you like that bourbon, Bob?
He should have done a rum so they could have done, here comes the story of sugar cane.
Were you the one who told me that Reuben Hurricane Carter probably was guilty? I keep hearing that a lot.
I don't know. I don't have enough skin in the game to make.
I don't have enough skin in the game either. And I also loved that song when it first came out, even though it has a terrible flat violin lead in it.
Yeah.
By Scarlett O'Hara. That's not her name, but something like that.
Right.
You know her name is Scarlett something, right?
I really don't know who you're talking
What was
about.
the name last week we struggled with for a half hour? Oh.
I can't remember.
You
Couldn't
do
remember that either.
You do. You do remember difficult periods for me in the past. Wow, this is fun.
It is fun.
I thought you were going to do me and Bob Dylan endorsing his own bourbon, but that's too much of a setup, right?
No, I went the rum route instead.
I like Mr. Tambourine Man margarita. Like even the Jerry Garcia, I buy it because I love Jerry Garcia, but they keep saying it's hand-picked pot. Like they're making a joke about his hand.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
You think I'm the only one?
Yes.
So I'm the only one who thinks of the pun of the fact that he has a missing finger on a hand.
Yeah.
And they called it hand-picked.
I think so.
Is it because I make fun of everybody with a missing finger? Hey, what happened to you, stupid? I made myself hyperventilate.
This is why you failed shop class.
I love every time I hear shop teacher stories. I never had shop in high school, so I love those stories. I just think of a guy with a big saw and blood spurting in every high school class.
Yeah.
Did you take it?
Sure.
So why did I have to take it?
I don't know. You probably took, I think some places you could take shop or home ec.
I didn't take home ec either, so I must have done something.
Typing, maybe?
Maybe I just put it out of my mind.
Maybe.
I was in remedial speech. They thought I had a speech thing, which I guess I don't know what it was.
But it turns out you were just stupid.
Okay. I have to go early now. Josh.
I don't know why I enjoyed that like that.
Josh, I don't feel so well. Can you take a break? But I don't feel well enough to delay the show, though.
Yeah.
I don't feel depressed enough to do a whole bit where that's unacceptable to me.
Yeah. All right. Well, then I'll just apologize for my mean joke.
No, you should. Please don't.
All right. I didn't.
People don't want the edge.
Any solace.
I was just getting myself ready to read.
Yeah.
In a position to read.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
While I play the theme song, we can get to the thing.
Oh, yeah. And they won't even know that any time has taken place.
time for questions. What do you want to know? We love your questions so much. It's half our show. Half our show. Esai76 says, as the official Mexican of ThoughtSpar, I wanted to let everyone know that the Spanish word esposa is a synonym for wife as well as handcuff. To my Mexican friends, I say handcuff when I refer to my wife. She is not bilingual.
Wait a second. Okay, first of all, this is exactly why I need to be seeing this. I don't know what you just said, but I could see it right here. I can follow along.
All right.
In my hymnal.
Do I need to say it again?
No, because I have it now.
Right.
3 weeks ago, I would have been, yeah, right. This guy certainly writes letters.
I like that he felt he had to phonetically spell out esposa for us.
Esposa. Yeah, we should be able to get that.
Yeah.
Well,
considering we mastered Esai.
First of all, that's right. We did a good job of that. First of all, I think, I can't believe it. It is funny, but I know he's not really referring to his wife as handcuffs. And it's a funny joke, but there's no way I'm supposed to believe that she doesn't know that he's saying that.
Well, you say ball and chain all the time.
Oh, the old ball. I say the old ball and chain. Oh, you talking about the hot poker in my eye lady? That's worse than the ball and chain. She sticks a hot poker in my eye. And why does it have to be a hot poker? Come on, Josh.
That's true. Just a regular poker would still be pretty irritating.
This is like a Seinfeld
I mean, that's
bit.
that's a pro tip for you torturists out there.
Yeah. Nobody cares about the
Save
heat.
time. People are just as intimidated by a regular room temperature poker right by their eye.
Torture jokes make me so nervous. Now I swear to God, if I do get tortured, they're going to add that one to it.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Oh, don't do that to me. I can't stand that song now. I don't like that guy anymore. I mean, he's frightening to me. Tommy Bag of Donuts. What's his name? Who is a very good actor at that part.
Wasn't it Michael?
Yes, Moriarty. No.
I see, now you ruined it.
I know. I ruined it so that you can't remember.
Yeah. Pickles. And I should note that Esai76 wrote his on July 22nd.
Wow.
And Pickles wrote theirs on July 26th.
Well, how is that even possible to be that old?
Because the hashtag lives. Even in advance, the hashtag works.
What was the law? Did anybody ever go test show 875? I did not like the
the whole sous vide run was done months in advance.
Wow. The people have a lot of free time.
Yeah. So Pickle says, listening to The Lady Don't Mind by Talking Heads, what a fucking great song. I'm not lost, but I don't know where I am. I mean, come on. Hey, Andy. I'm not lost, but I know where I am.
Where's that from?
But the lady don't mind. The lady don't mind.
Now I get it. Now I can hear it. What album is it off of?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Because I'm an expert on I claim to be an expert
It might be Naked. It might be Naked. It might be one of the last two, Naked.
Okay, so that's why I have to say
or Little Creatures, maybe.
I may be a little bit less familiar with the last couple of albums.
Well, your theme song came from Naked.
Which is, you were a parking lot. Now you're a peaceful oasis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
You got it. It's from Naked or Little Creatures?
It's from Naked.
I love it. I think there's amazing songs all the way through.
A parking lot. Now it's a peaceful oasis.
You got it. Now, I would say that they had great songs all the way through, but would you say those last couple albums, I'm not familiar with all the songs in those albums. I don't think they're as good as the first four.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I like on Little Creatures, there's Road to Nowhere.
Oh, we're on the road to nowhere.
Up All Night, which is great. There's And She Was, which is a
that's a great song. So take it back.
Yeah.
They were great all the way through.
Pretty goddamn good.
I know they got sick of each other after a while. They got tired of David Byrne.
I think that was more the case.
Yeah, they got tired there.
I don't think it was so much sick of each other as sick of David Byrne.
Hey, Dave, can you stop with the hand choppy bit for a second so I can talk to you? What was that bit? Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. That's how Doug Benson in his early act used to do David Byrne impression. Same as it ever was.
Yeah. And he still does because it's...
He does. Hey, we don't care about him.
You're supposed to follow through the same as it ever was.
Same as it ever was. No, I was more following through of like, I don't care about Doug Benson anymore. I'm in the second, what's it called? I have a second wind for my grudges, but I don't care as much about them anymore.
It's a backlash.
It's a, yes. So like Doug Benson, who the fuck is he to pull an attitude with us?
Yeah,
Seriously.
well, he was nice to you, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's just
I
crazy.
appreciate you thinking of it as us.
Oh, I know. I never thought he's ever been nice to me since the entire time I've known him. Oh, maybe I should talk to him about this. Okay, sorry.
Not on my account.
Oh, went too far. Too soon.
Do you want to do sous vide?
Yes, I will.
All right.
A sous vide says, Test Show 223 is Andy's password. Third thing, 333. 333 Zuzu. Or a third password? Well, this does get back to the thing that I really do like 333. And so I do, and 222. I love numbers in a row. And I am kind of like the show 222. I was hoping it would be our best show so far because of the cosmic numbers.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I don't think it was our best.
Well, how can you even say that? There's no way you would say that.
I don't think it was good as 111, for example.
111, that's right, but that's because it was 111. So, yes. But I wouldn't make it so obvious as that.
Well, Stephen Elton Yates says, I feel like I killed Test Show 222 with my yogurt question. Oh, he didn't mean it in the comic way.
Oh.
He meant it he actually euthanized the show.
No, he's not saying it killed.
He's saying, I feel like I killed Test Show 222 with my yogurt question. I'm so sorry I upset Andy to the point where he spilled his drink. Please forgive me.
Now, this is an interesting, thank you, Stephen. And you know what? Just to make everything happy, I'm going to like it while I'm doing the show. That's not me.
Well, it's a good way to know that we've covered it.
Now, you didn't seem to care about my spill. I had a huge spill. But I guess it was on top of all my other shenanigans.
Yeah, well, I have to say, you sent the picture of it, and it ruined the Theater of the Mind version. Because it really didn't look that major in the picture you sent me.
Oh, no, that's just one small area of it.
Yeah,
that was just the area at top.
All right, well, that was just bad storytelling on your part.
Yeah, bad storytelling and the bad acting maybe, too. Oh, it's Josh. No, you could tell I spilled something, right?
Yeah, I felt that part was real.
Yeah, because I freak out. I'm in trouble. I'm the spiller, as they said, my mother's favorite quote after we talked an hour about how she made me the spill. And then she turns and says, who's the spiller in your family?
I think it's weird that you charged yourself a damage deposit.
It is very strange that I charge an additional security deposit to myself.
Yeah, that was the same joke, Andy.
I know it was the same joke, but I was just showing you how it could be more uplifting, more wordy, and I'm just showing you what to do when I get a hold of it.
Let me defang that for you. Dan Marsh, do you want to read this?
Yeah, I'll read that one. Hey guys, resubmitting because Andy had an oopsie. I like that kind of thing. Andy had an oopsie with his beverage last week. You've been cast to play James Bond in a classic 007 film. Where is it set? What is your secret spy gadget? And what do you say to the supervillain just before disposing of him? This is a hard question because I've never seen him.
Well, yeah, and first I have to point out that if we're in a classic 007 film, it's a fixed set already.
Oh, you're making the technical point that it's already been decided.
Yeah.
What's happening.
Right.
I think he's saying along the lines of the genre of the classic.
That's probably true.
Probably true.
Yes.
And which I've seen none of them. So I'm just going to do it quick and then you can take more time with it.
Right.
It would be set in Morongo. No, that's a casino. It's set in Morocco.
Okay.
in Morocco.
Yeah.
With the beautiful women, and they all come up to him and go, "Oh," and he goes, "I would like to sleep with you, and then I'd like to shake and stir you and under the bed." And my secret spy gadget would be one of those things where you can digitally measure with a laser beam.
Yeah.
That's my secret spy. And then it goes, "What's that?" I go, "Just something to throw you off with." And what do I say? What do I say? You know where I'm going to take you, supervillain? To the super garbage. That's where you're going.
Okay.
Supervillain.
All good, I think. Where is it set? Antarctica for me. What's your secret spy gadget? A coat.
Wish you had a coat?
A coat, yes. It's Antarctica. Yeah.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
It has. You can clip the mittens to the sleeves. And I say to the supervillain just before disposing of him, "Can I have some cocoa?"
What was the worst part as he's going into hell? What was the worst part about dying? This guy's like, "Cocoa."
He's doing Billy Crystal.
Yeah. Who needs that? Hey, if you read the next question, don't call the person Boopsy.
Okay. Don't call me Boopsy.
Don't. Huh?
Says, now that Andy is reading questions, oh, see, this is for you. I can get this clean.
Hello, my name is Andy. I'd like a mug of brandy. My best friend's name is Sandy. I got nothing. This is interesting because I thought that don't call me
Boopsy. Didn't get it fully clean, actually.
What do you mean?
You stumbled.
Oh,
can we
hello,
can we get another read on my best friend's name is Sandy?
Hello, my name is Andy. I'd like a mug of brandy. My best friend's name is Sandy. I got nothing.
That's a good read.
That's a better read.
That is a cameo quality read.
That makes me laugh. That makes me. Oh God. I can't. But my best friend's name is Sandy. Oh, but I thought it was funny because at the end it is Boopsy's saying that I would say I got nothing at the end, but also it could be Boopsy's got nothing.
Yeah.
See how it works?
Right. Now they have the option.
Right. That's a good question. And I say that's a good question.
Here's one for safety, he'll say. Jason Parton says at the grocery store and just heard a not so enthusiastic ad for cotton candy grapes.
Is that?
That's sad. What would that? That's just sad. Because you
mean someone said, "What are you doing here, ma'am? I came here. I like cotton candy grapes."
Something like that, yeah. That's not how you move the produce.
No. You
need,
That's what I'm here for! The cotton candy grapes!
I just want her to be Liza.
Yeah.
So bad.
She is, for all intents and purposes, in my memory, she is now Liza.
I wish I could see the look on your face. I come in for the. How you doing?
No,
there?
I was completely deadpan. It was all internal work going on there. I played along. I was like, yeah, they're good. I think I said something like that, But inside, I was just like, there was a 3-ring circus in my heart.
I do agree with you that when I do go into the markets, I love the mask. It used to be like, "Hi, do you recognize me? I'll stare at you more directly."
Yeah.
"Hi, you must recognize me." Now it's like, how was that ever fun? Just get your things and get the hell out.
Yeah, now it's like having your own little private room to walk around in.
I know, it's so good. And I still can't get I'll walk down the street and I go, "How come that person is not smiling back at me? You stupid idiot. You have a mask on, Andy." Is what I say inside my head.
I do find myself, my face still works as if there's no mask. I do smile at people in the same way.
Well, you can see the crinkle in the eyes.
You kind of can. If you care enough.
No, yeah.
I still can't get over the fun. To me, it's still funny, that feeling of pulling up to a gas station or a 7-Eleven and putting on your mask and going in. Like it's a heist every time, it feels like.
One of my, I don't want to say it this way, but one of my black friends on Twitter said, like the first day before it all started coming out, he goes, "Oh, yeah, that's great advice to tell black people to wear masks. You know, and that was during the days where they still would say you could just put like a kerchief around it.
Right.
See, I would never think that I would have to. I've thought about this many times. I've done like weird things like around someone's house. I mean, it does look well, I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, but I know that the fact that I'm white helps. I would probably have shot 55 times before. Right. Because I look like I'm up to no good. I look needy.
Yeah. No, you look like a camp counselor.
Do you know there's a library near your house on someone's lawn?
Oh, yeah? No, I didn't.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that before?
I have, yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing in the world.
I almost did one at one point.
You put in or took out?
No, I almost put one up on my little corner.
Oh, that's so cool.
Well, I didn't, so it's not that cool.
I know. But just that I mean, I don't even know. How much do you make from those?
You don't make it? You don't.
I know.
You make karma points.
Yes. And, wow, I just couldn't even believe it. And I don't think in every neighborhood it would work.
No, but I think there's a certain,
I'm not making
what do I stand to gain by vandalizing this sort of quality?
That's true. And I wasn't making the kind of comment like, I'm in the valley where people know how to treat each other.
No, I didn't think it. I think it was there was nothing loaded when you said some neighborhood.
Yeah, but I thought about it, though.
No, I'm sure. You're not wrong to think about it, but I think
that's true.
But I think you're clean.
Oh, Josh, I am in love with you now. This is the new. Where were you the last few months when I would say, Josh, do you need anything? Yeah, I need you to listen to the fucking show. What? Wait, what? Hey, is that good?
That is.
Wait, what?
Yeah, now I got a clean one.
Wait, what? You know, I went to the doctor, I forgot my bad joke I was going to do. Wait, what? Oh, yes. Norm Crosby went to the doctor the other day. He got a pneumonia shot. Norm Crosby. No. Well, I actually asked Susan if I can get a pneumonia shot without realizing. Is it better now?
It's better. But a pneumonia shot doesn't really sound like a thing.
Well, I drink ammonia.
He got a COVID laxation.
I see the difference. It has to be like a little, all along that's been a very excruciating experience.
Right.
I don't know what the word excruciating is taking off of, but that's always my example.
Yeah, I think you're using a bad example.
Right, because it should be charming, but it's not. It's very invigorating.
Excoriating, excalibrating experience. I don't know.
Is he gone? I think he is, right?
Well, he's not listening anymore.
He could be alive, though?
No, I think he died.
Oh.
I think because I think I made a malapropism joke in my RIP tweet.
He was a very. I met him once, and he was very. I mean, I did a joke for one of the roast once.
Yeah,
and he had a very kind look on his face.
It's called pity, Andy.
I saw that one. Jerry Van Dyke had that exact look on his face after he thought I bombed on a Conan set, and he just was going by the audience response. But he couldn't. It was the funniest thing he had ever experienced. He couldn't believe it.
He thought I bombed, but he was just going by the audience response.
And he thought that. I think he thought that maybe I know he knew that I knew what I was doing. And like I knew he wasn't thinking this guy doesn't know he's bombing, right. But I think he was laughing at how badly I was bombing.
Yeah. Well, that's the funniest part of Andy Kindler.
I thought he was very funny too, Jerry Van. Not that I and Jerry Van Dyke are funny, sure. But Jerry Van Dyke was very funny.
Well, once he ditched his mother, the car.
That wasn't his fault.
No, true.
Well, he took the gig.
Yeah. Well, who wouldn't?
I would have taken it.
Me too.
And I would have argued with you.
I would have taken it as the car.
I would have taken the stand-in for the car.
Yes.
Get it?
The moped. Duckman.
What's that? Yeah, I was going to ask you who's reading the next one.
Do you want to?
No, you do.
All right. Unfortunately, I have to dedicate my question this week to the passing of Norm Macdonald. he could be a little rough around the edges. I know Andy doesn't like to go blue, but if there's one takeaway from being a fan of his, is that he genuinely cared about comedy.
I will say, be the first to go here and say, I think that says it very, very well. I think he definitely did genuinely care about comedy. I mean, I still haven't read any of these things that you were talking about because I just haven't read anything. But I know that he had a lot of different sides to him, and but he absolutely. I mean, I liked his atheism material because he really was. He just was a lot of different people, and one of those people was a very, very funny, insightful guy on some levels.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I happen to have just been reading those things before we recorded the other day, so it was fresh on my mind, but it's not, I wasn't suggesting you posthumously cancel Norm Macdonald, but, but it is also like, you don't like to see someone fully deified either.
Right. It's just, it's not good. I mean, I think I did deify people to the point where, I mean, people would argue, well, that's why you're arguing about Woody Allen. Well, that's not why I argue about Woody Allen. I argue about Woody Allen because I wanted to destroy the rest of whatever career I have. So I bring it up as an interview topic.
Yes.
But I forgot what I was going to say. Sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about deifying people.
Yeah. It's not good. And you've been one of the first people to point that out to me. Now, I don't know if I go as far as you do, and I don't even know that you go far. But you kind of like are not impressed that people are famous. You don't feel as if, I don't know. I think I'm miscommunicating what you're saying because you're reacting to how people deify it.
I don't know. I don't know if I give points, I've gotten to the point where I actually give points against people for being famous, but it's more just, I don't like the, undertone of people who are famous or people who are in show business being, selfless in any way. Right.
And you can tell with something like a Peter Bogdanovich, relationship with, Orson Welles. I mean, Orson Welles could have killed half his family.
Right.
And he would have said, well, the guy's, he's a very good director.
Right.
So it's like, there is this thing where we don't want these people, we don't want to say a horrible, terrible person could create great art. And in general, I don't think there's a one-to-one, and I don't think it's like Hitler was even better at being evil and art. I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison.
No, I just think it's not that correlated. I don't think people's talent and their person are the same thing.
I think you're absolutely right. The only thing I'll say is that the ability to laugh at yourself and come up with these incredible, I'm talking about myself, incredible jokes. No, the ability to laugh at yourself can indicate a certain amount of maturity of how you look at life, but it does not always go along that way.
No, it's also a narcissist defense mechanism, so
that's exactly, yeah. You'd be like, yes, exactly. Cause, we're using comedy to absolutely, it's a distancing technique.
All right. I know plenty of people who can make jokes about themselves, but can't take a joke about themselves.
And that is exactly true. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly true. But there are some comics who I found to be sometimes funny, and then sometimes they don't have any of you. I don't know. Maybe it's hard to look at things in yourself, even if you're perceptive about behavior in other people.
Yeah. Well, and the way people, and the way, I'm not talking. I can talk about comics just because that's the tribe I'm from. Is what comics are like at a comedy club is kind of like what people are like on social media.
Right.
Everyone is on there, is in performance mode.
Yes. And I have really worked on that because it became just so tiring for me to perform.
Yeah.
And I think every comic everybody likes to be on, like where you've come up with something.
Yeah. I love hanging out with comics, not every comic and not in every situation, but the reason that comedy called to me is like, no, these are the people who I like hanging with, because they're smart and funny and everything can be joked about,
right. That's the advantage of being in the profession we're in, is that the people who are attracted to it in general do have a sense of humor about themselves. I mean, it's not that does not that's like a theory, but it doesn't go all the way across the board because
Right.
I'm not saying.
But they have a
but it's
sense
just
of
like-
humor.
They have a sense of humor. True. I find comedian, but not true with the clowns though.
No, different species.
There's nothing sadder than a clown or whatever that.
Something
I
like
love that song. Got something for test show 223? No, I'm sorry, I skipped over one. You do the next one, or I should not. You do the next one.
Tweet Bahar says Norm, damn it, which we just talked about. Seth Dick III says, when a cow laughs, does milk come out of its nose? Pause for laughter. Do
I was
cows
just laughing.
That was good. Do cows laugh? What makes them laugh? Maybe this joke. What do cows use when they buy real estate? Cowlateral.
I would say Seth Dick III. No, on that joke.
Yeah, no, I think you're actually you're on probation now.
Yeah, you may be. I read an article about laughter in the New Yorker once, and I do remember some details from it, and they do say that other species laugh.
Yeah.
They say rats laugh, which I just find it hard to believe.
I don't, because they're mean little bastards.
But isn't that weird to think that a sense of humor? Like, do you think sometimes, like in your house, like Lucky will look over at Clyde and go, give you a look, roll his paw at you about something Clyde did? No, that does not exist among dogs, probably.
Probably not. Mostly because they don't have eyebrows for the most part.
But a sense of humor, I do think, does laughing. I mean, I'm telling you, this article said that other species laugh. I don't know anything more about it.
Hyenas, perhaps?
Do you know that hyenas, they say laugh like a hyena because when they've done studies, they found that hyenas do tend to get the jokes?
Yes. That's this nice thing about being a pack animal is if it goes over your head, the next guy catches it.
Are you telling me these monkeys and gorillas at the zoo are not mocking me?
Are they not mocking me?
Aren't they mocking me?
Are they mocking me?
I haven't been to the zoo in 400 years.
Well, they're poop flingers, those monkeys. So.
I will tell Seth Dick III that I will not that you asked to rate the jokes, but the cow laughing and the milk coming out of his nose is far better than the Reader's Digest joke at the end or the Dixie Cup joke.
But it's been done.
Oh, well, he doesn't know that.
How do you know he doesn't know that?
I know. He's probably right. I heard he uses joke books for his letters.
Noted Texan Energy executive says, is there anything more depressing than seeing them roll out the Christmas merchandise at Spirit Halloween?
I didn't know that they do that, but I do find that kind of thing depressing.
Yeah.
What's Spirit Halloween?
I don't know.
Well, have you watched the Travel Channel? I'm telling you, it's even more haunted now. They're doing a fake. They're doing a Halloween party on the Travel Channel.
Yeah.
It's so spooky. It's scary.
We're
dead.
We're doing a seance for dead travel agents.
I just can't even believe it. I can't believe it.
Go Mark Homer says 223 is a new area code overlaying 717 in South Central Pennsylvania. Here in Toronto, the old 416 area codes are status symbols, and the new 647 and 437 area codes are less desirable. Have either of you ever held on to an old phone number or email address for similar reasons?
I don't think I have, but I would. I would keep a 310 maybe over a 714.
Yeah.
But that would be, I wouldn't do it if it.
Isn't your cell? Your cell was finally an 818, right?
No, I'm still 310.
Still.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm 323, obviously.
Gotcha.
But just in case you forget it, it's 555-555-555-555-555.5.
Gotcha.
Ben Earhart says, I love how the My Pillow guy is so scorned by Josh that he isn't even welcome in the scorn field. Talk about banishment. God damn. He's right. Yeah.
It
is almost, I feel bad for the guy that he's not even worth being mocked by you.
No, I had to deplatform him. It was I just couldn't be a part of putting it because he's already a self-parody.
Right. We got to him before.
Yeah, I will fully fly my flag that I had his number well before
Yes.
the rest of the world, or much of the rest of the world.
So people think that you're going to be like that guy who does not Hank Stram. Who does that guy do? That one guy does all the sports guys. Who's the guy who goes boom?
Frank Caliendo?
Yes, but who's the broadcaster who goes boom?
John Madden?
Yeah, thank you. And Andy will be touring with his interpreter Josh
Yes.
all this month in Fort Lauderdale.
Word Caddy is back.
Yes, what is he like, Tony? He's like, what Tony am I thinking of?
Soprano.
Oh, Robbins.
Soprano. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm so excited about the new Sopranos thing.
Are you?
I don't know if it's good,
Yeah.
but I'm going to watch it. It's a prequel, I think.
It is a prequel.
Is it David Chase?
Yes.
All right. I can't wait to see what James Gandolfini is like.
Dan Marsh says, how green are the thumbs of Thought Spiral? Have either of you gardened or grown vegetables? How about window boxes or houseplants? Well, I think this is where Andy talks about his wife.
You know what? I don't do it, Josh.
Yeah.
My wife is growing. She grew. We had, what is the thing you have with potatoes? They're not green onions. They're chives. She grew chives.
Wow.
And she's next year, sour cream. Yeah.
Good.
I think I covered that very well.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with my response.
By the way, chives are basically just grass.
Is that what they are?
Pretty much.
Well, are you then? But you're not mocking them, are you?
I'm not mocking the child.
Don't mock me during the question. Josh, I'm serious now. You're hurting my feelings during the question.
I have no
section.
feelings.
Oh.
4 years old. Both of us wanted to be the older brother.
I didn't, because my brother was having a real hard time with it. I was like, I am definitely in the sweet spot here.
Wow. That's so interesting that both of you came from the same family and yet you both had so many different issues.
Yeah, totally different.
With the same parents.
Very different experiences.
Right. One of you is lying.
My brother had it harder. His internal dialogue was much harsher than mine.
Is it harsher than mine?
It was. I think at that time it was probably on par with yours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard. That's a very tiring thing to carry around.
It is.
I don't know about it anymore because I'm cured.
Yeah, it's a delight now.
You can't hurt me. And that's not the way you want to come out of therapy, right? Can't hurt me. Nobody can hurt me now.
Can I just carry a wall around with me?
I learned that boundaries are the best thing going.
That's right. Never con. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
I was stepping on your bit and going to the next question.
Oh, that's what I was going to do. But you go ahead and read it because you started with a running gag.
NeverCon says you must give the You Bet Your Life reboot a look. Can't Jay just stay in his garage?
Wait a second.
What did I miss?
I've got lost somehow.
All right.
I have Steve Wright as next.
Yeah, well, you scrolled past NeverCon. That's why.
Oh, do you know what? I really think that there's something going on with my feed because I have Dan Marsh going right into Steve Wright.
Well, that's just great.
So can you read?
You probably blocked NeverCon at some point.
Maybe I muted him.
Maybe.
All right, so read it again. I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter. It just says you should see the You Bet Your Life reboot.
Oh, is that the rest of your life reboot? Who is it?
It's You Bet Your Life. So say a word and we'll give you.
No, I thought people were kidding me about this.
No.
That's what Cosby did.
That's what Buddy Hacker did before that even.
Why would he do that?
Because he has to be on the TV.
And what channel is it on?
It doesn't matter.
Is it gonna?
I think it's syndicated.
Does that mean he's not going to do the car show anymore?
I can't imagine that he would have to drop the car show for that.
This is so good. I hope it's a low rent operation for some reason because I think he's cheap, but maybe he's not. Steve Wright says,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Steve Wright says, how cute are my dogs? Josh, please print this photo for Andy like it's 1995. Also, is pet insurance a scam? Both these pups have gone under the knife a few times. That shit is expensive. And that is a cutie dog.
Yeah. Well,
2 dogs.
As a guy who spent 5 figures on a dog spine earlier this year, I can relate. It is, I always think I should have gotten pet insurance, and you probably should. And I know a couple people for whom it's been good, but I haven't heard enough pet insurance stories to have a position on it.
What does it run?
But my intent is with the next new model is to get it pet insurance.
Wow. That's an interesting thing. It's like medical insurance then for the doggies.
It is.
But do you know how much it runs, or
I
never looked into it?
I really don't. I've never looked into it because I'm too lazy.
Are they going to have a whole series of Colonial Penn commercials? And your premiums will never go up.
This isn't my first dog show. Look, I wouldn't be doing this if I thought pet insurance was a way to take your dog.
You know, pet insurance is not a dog and pony show. That's not what it is. Let me tell you something. I feel terribly guilty about this series of commercials I've done, and I can't get over it.
I can't shake it. I make them put it in every single one that my hands are somehow dirty, or at least implied.
Yes, and everyone. You didn't include the eraser statements where I say it's a great organization and God. All right.
Alberto Salas says, what would an episode of Thought Spiral sound like when you guys both sync up alarm clocks, go to sleep with headsets on, and start recording literally seconds after waking up the next morning? How's the morning routine? Is coffee needed to get the gears going?
I know I need the coffee. The coffee is absolutely, there's never been a session that I haven't accompanied with coffee. And it could even be psychological because, I'm just so used to having it. But like right now, I'm not high. I feel awake. I feel alert.
I know. And I've enjoyed the whole conversation.
That's right. So,
take note.
Yeah. Who, me or Alberto Salas?
No, you. I'm actually very, I'm not foggy when I wake up. I'm pretty sharp, but I still like having coffee first thing, but I'm not one of those, don't talk to me till I have my coffee people.
Well, do you not feel the effects of coffee? Because I still feel them, and I've been drinking.
I really don't. I don't feel a noticeable effect of having coffee.
Yeah.
I feel if I drink coffee at 7 p.m., then I feel the effect of it later.
Yeah, jittery.
But I don't feel. I just not sleepy. I don't feel. It's not like speed to me.
No, it's not like that, but I can definitely feel the comfortable feeling when it goes down. And because I associate it with so many positive things like, let's get breakfast, let's go, it just is one of those things where the smell of it and everything. No, I think I think I couldn't, I think I feel
I've talked to you right after you woke up and it's a foggier thing.
Yeah, well, like we're doing this 2 hours later than we did last week. So this is better for me, but I still want to get the morning going. I'm not going to let that dream down.
Well, as long as you don't get all stoned before it doesn't really matter to me. Stephen Elton Yates says, wait,
you didn't go, you didn't acknowledge my pause.
I did. I did by barreling over it. Stephen Elton Yates says, wait, is the word yogurt Andy's Niagara Falls? I wonder why. # slowly I turn.
Was I eating? I think I was eating yogurt.
I think so.
No, I wasn't.
No, he asked about yogurt, and then you had your
Oh, it was, and it was a...
He's making his own these days, I hear.
Who is?
Stephen Elton Yates.
He's making his own yogurt?
Yeah.
That was a lie, though, right?
No, I bet it's true.
Yo, 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 yo,
Yamamoto. Yo, Yamamoto. Yamamoto.
Andy, are you aboard the Zach Wilson train yet? Sorry about the Vikings, Josh.
I don't know who Zach Wilson is.
I assume
he's a quarterback.
I assume he's the Jets quarterback.
Oh, Andy. The question is Andy. Like I said on Twitter, it was so nice that we were beaten last week by our own quarterback.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
now I hear nothing about him except him now that he's off our team.
Right.
But that theory probably doesn't hold.
Probably not. It sounds like a sort of bitter fair-weather fan kind of theory.
And I'm really not a fair weather fan. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I expect the Jets to lose, but I don't know if that's better. I'm trying to adjust my sports watching because I either cannot watch sports anymore. I mean, I don't tend to watch them anymore.
Well, your tennis enemy got beat last week.
Oh, that was so good. I loved seeing Medvedev. He was so good. That was great.
Yeah.
Dan Wade says, oh, wait a second. What happened to the Vikings?
They were terrible. They just had self-destructive penalty after self-destructive penalty.
Are they 0-1?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Dan Wade says, welcome back, fellas. What bad life lessons did you learn from TV? The paper chase convinced me I wasn't smart enough to be a lawyer. Well, that would never have affected me.
Right.
Someone attacking my... And I forget that the paper chase was a show.
Yeah.
Because he says TV, and it was a movie.
Right.
So he's talking about the series.
Right.
Which I refuse to watch because the original is so good.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Shibu, here's a dime. Go tell your mother you can't be a liar. Hey, you know what I decided to do? I decided to date the daughter of that horrible teacher. Who's with me, fellas?
I don't know. I think people don't actually sit in a semicircle around the dinner table, maybe.
That's true.
Chaotic Neutral says, hey, guys.
That's a good lesson.
Hey, guys, you've probably already discussed Norm's passing. It's true we have. He was funny in a way that nobody else was, and we'll all miss him tremendously. I was wondering if you could tell us your favorite Norm Macdonald joke. Josh, same question, but with the BTK killer.
I don't know. It's hard for me to... Oh, I like this one. He goes, he goes, you ever lie for no reason at all? Like your friend says to you, did you ever see that movie with Willie Nelson and the horse that goes in the casino? Yes. Why did I answer yes to that?
What do I stand to gain from that lie? Why did that lie tumble out of my mouth?
That's pretty good.
I think that was my first favorite Norm joke. Was that
classic?
Cody the Sloth says no question this week, but I did write a bad joke. No shortage of those this week. That was my commentary.
That was cold. That's cold.
I dreamt that a cute girl invited me to a slumber party, so I came in my pajamas. Well,
that's just kind of
that's like a single entendre, kind of.
Yeah. I don't know. The reason why I'm laughing is that happens to me every night. First of all, a cute girl. Let me tell you something right now, Cody. She's never going to invite you to a slumber party again if that's your answer. How was that comeback to him?
It was strong. I think it was life. It was life advice.
This is an excellent. Is that the last question?
I think it is. Although I think somebody asked questions that didn't get hashtagged, and I want to show some compassion. Sure. If I can find it quickly.
That's an odd definition of compassion.
Yeah. Well, you know.
You do what you can.
I can't find it. People use the hashtag.
That's the lesson.
I can't find it. Hey, that's our show. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you for coming back. And don't forget, if you ever want to buy us a cup of coffee, we don't necessarily spend it on coffee, but buymeacupofcoffee.net.
Oh, God. So wrong.
What?
Buymeacoffee.com/ThoughtSpiral.
Don't forget if you're in, what else are we supposed to plug? Don't we need money?
Yeah, just send us money.
Why don't we come out with more merch?
We could. You could go to Zazzle.com/thought_spiral and check out our merch.
Do they ever send an email to you?
That supports Alex, by the way.
I know. Is Alex still involved with the show? You catch a ching. Sour cream.